hope you're ready to deal with my insecurity. Because I don't know what submission is. I sure hope you don't expect me to do that.
Well, I do expect you to do that.
I've never done that before.
Well,
I don't know what that looks like.
It looks like...
I've never seen submission before.
It looks like when I tell you to do something, you do it.
That sounds like control.
That's not control.
Like I already said, I already have control issues. So it's going to be a problem if you try to control me.
See...
And listen, I'm just going to tell you now, I'm marrying you. I love you, but I just don't want to be lonely. I deal with loneliness. I deal with abandonment issues. I don't want to be left by myself.
So hold on, wait. Let me get this straight. So you're going to have an issue listening to me.
Yes.
Because I'm not really going to want a lot of, like, clapback. You understand? Because, like, I got enough of that from my mama.
Well, listen.
Listen. I got enough of that from my mama. My mom always telling me, you need to do this. You need to be home at this time. I never really saw a man model submission. I never saw that submission is modeled, not demanded. I never saw that. I never saw daddy, you know, in the room and helping mom around the house and helping her vacuum and help her do dishes. I hope you understand that we got some gender roles.
Well, listen, all I saw was men trying to control their wives. All I saw were men that were abusive to their wives.
I'm not them.
Okay, but I view you out of all the men, so you're not going to be controlling me. That's not going to happen. Okay, I saw that all my life. I saw that all my life. From my uncles, from my grandfather, from all the other men that came before you. So listen, if you're going to be married to me, you're going to understand that you're not going to control me. And if I want to make a decision, I don't have to consult you all the time. I make my own money, and I've made decisions all my life far before I met you. So I'm not going to start allowing you to make decisions for me now. It's just not going to happen.
And you see, this is how my mother didn't really mother me. She smothered me. She always was telling me what to do, but you're going to deal with it. You're going to deal with it. If you're in covenant with me, you're going to deal with all of my rejection. You're going to deal with all of my insecurities. You're going to deal with all of my doubts and all my failures. You cannot get me and not get everything I come with. I'm attached to a lot.
Well, guess what?
No, you guess what?
You're going to get everything I get too.
You got to understand this. You got to understand I'm attached to storms. So you're going to get rained on with depression because I struggle with it. You're going to get rained on with weary because I get weary sometimes. You're going to get rained on with worry because I'm dealing with all of this. But here we are, right?
Well, listen, you're going to deal with my overly emotionalism. How about that? You're going to deal with me being super sensitive all the time about everything. You're going to deal with my overthinking. You're going to deal with it all. You're going to deal with my low self-esteem issues. You're going to deal with my rejection issues. You're going to deal with all of it. And you know what? You're just going to have to take it.
Well, you're not the only one that's been rejected. See, this is why, like, a few days ago, I felt some type of way that I wasn't invited to the Super Bowl party. You know why? Because their like invitation gave me significance. And so when I don't get invitations, when I don't have people invite me, I feel some type of way. Because if I be real with you, people's endorsement of me is more important than heaven's approval of me.
So wait a minute. I'm not your mother. Okay? So I hope that you are not expecting me to be your mother. I sure hope that's not going to happen.
Well, Mama knew how to cook. Mama knew how to clean. Mama took care of all the stuff I needed. I need you to be able to know how to cook.
Well,
I need you to know how to be able to clean.
You can learn how to cook. You can learn how to clean.
That's your job. What are you talking about?
Excuse me?
That's I want hot meals when I come home.
Wow.
I would think that's the least that you could do.
Are we living in the 1930s? Are you serious?
1930s. Are you serious right now?
If I have to work every day, you have to work every day. If I have to do laundry, you need to do laundry.
I'm cool with that.
If I have to cook, you need to cook.
Look, man, as long as you take care of the kids, I mean.
We both need to take care of the kids. They are our children.
I'm not trying to babysit all day.
Babysit?
I'm not trying to babysit and watch them all day. I got
Fathering?
things to do.
Parenting?
I got things to do.
Like what?
Like watch the game. Me and the boys get together. We play some poker. It's a pandemic.
You know
I need
what?
a break. You
sound like a child.
I need mental. Okay, you talking about I sound like a child?
You sound like a child. That's what you look like right now.
You know what?
That's what you're sounding like.
Let me tell you what you sound like.
You're expecting for me to be your mother. That's really what you're expecting.
You sound like a lonely, depressed woman
Really?
that is only using me to get people to give you likes. That's what you sound like.
First
You
of all,
sound like a person that I've been trying to show you. Like, you've seen tons of flags. You've seen tons of them. But you know why you keep overlooking them? Because you want the likes and you want to say I'm finally off the market, and you want to look like you have all of this value.
listen, you don't know what it's like to be me. You don't know what it's like to be a woman like me. To be damaged, to feel like you're damaged goods, and nobody wants you.
You think you don't want damaged?
You don't know what it feels like to be this age and want children and see all your friends married and all your friends have children and you are the last one left.
So that's why I'm here.
But more so of an ass that every age. I also explained to him that toxic masculinity doesn't make you more of a man, but more so of an ass that everybody hates, but people just kind of tolerate.
Douglas, let's start in New York, where you live. I want to play you some footage from the subway. What I find just as disturbing is the lack of good Samaritans. Where have all the real men gone, Douglas?
I mean, you know, as you say, not just what happened to the Good Samaritans, but what happened to the men. I mean, in that carriage, where the man pulls the woman down by her, clearly in deep terror and distress, clearly terrified and crying out for help. And, you know, there are men in the carriage there. I suspect, like everyone, they've seen stories and read stories of people intervening with somebody and, you know, being knifed or shot. But does that mean that no man should ever intervene? No citizen should ever intervene? You know, the guys in this carriage, as far as I can see, you know, just sort of either watched on or stared into their devices and just hoped it would sort of go away. But you know, this is, Rita, this is actually, there's a sort of deeper point to this. It's just not just a breakdown in law and order. It's a breakdown of masculinity, because, you know, we've had so many years of the radical left and others saying, you know, toxic masculinity. Well, you know, there's good masculinity, and they never talk about that. And they've demoralized so many people. They've persuaded people that basically masculinity is a bad thing. No, there are times you need it. There are times you really need it, and there are times that people should show it. And when a woman is being assaulted on a carriage, if there's a bunch of men and they just stand by, that's just, you know, demasculinized people, and it's just shocking.
Healthy masculinity. In fact, most have never experienced it at all. So many guys think that you need to treat. For a woman, there's nothing like the experience of a man who expresses respectful dominance and healthy masculinity. In fact, most have never experienced it at all. So many guys think that you need to treat her mean to keep her keen, not knowing that it's more that she prefers someone who's manly as opposed to someone who treats her badly. So really, the most desirable man is the type of guy who's able to keep her keen without being mean.
Back up in this thing, man.
Peace.
Peace to the family.
Back up.
Peace to the family.
Let's get into it. Man. It's good. Here with my nearest and dearest to drop some spiritual science on y'all. Happy to be back with these brothers. The last video we did, I would say, is a certified classic. Y'all helped that to get to 10K views, man. Like, shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting the channel as of late. New subscribers. Y'all really like these videos. So if y'all really like it, we go and keep bringing it to y'all. But first off, give us some thumbs up, some ones in the chat if y'all can hear me okay. And continue to get them ones and them thumbs up in the chat as they introduce themselves. So go ahead, Serpent, introduce yourself. Let us know where you at on social media, where the people can find you.
Sacred Serpent, Racine Maurice on Facebook, Sacred Serpent, Sacred Dark Serpent on Instagram and on Twitter, and also the Initiates and Sacred Serpent Media. Yeah, we back up in this thing. Peace. Ashe, and thank y'all for the space.
Peace to the tribe. It's your boy AD. You can find me on Instagram, AD_Senpai. You can go ahead, find me on YouTube. That's the same thing. Go ahead, check me out. I'm here with the initiates. Go check out the initiates, and please check out your favorite book club, the Hereford's Book Club. We got more content coming tomorrow, so check us out as we go into the Bible, as reading the books, supernatural. So go ahead and get at it, and you already know I got my partner with me in the book club here too. So go ahead, check us out.
Yeah. This is Breeze. One half of the Hero Fans Book Club. Look out for our episode. We got an episode dropping tomorrow on Genesis 19 to 22. And then after that, we're getting our shit together so we can drop an episode from 23 to 50. So we're gonna finish the whole Genesis up. I dropped my Instagram in the chat, so follow my Instagram and then hit the link tree, and then you can find AD, you can find initiates, you can find my YouTube, you can get you natal chart readings, you can get you tarot card readings. And yeah, man, let's go.
Yeah, man. First off, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot to talk about. And more importantly, we want to know what you're talking about in the chat. We like to have an interactive build because it's no fun being in an echo chamber. Not even like this conversation. We agree with each other because we have disagreements all the time. But you might not notice because we're cordial with each other. Meaning just because you got disagreements don't mean you got to tell somebody to square up. You know, that's the masculine thing to do, actually, you know, handle things with a sense of calmness. But with that being said, if y'all have any questions, any suggestions, any direction for us, like anything that y'all want us to help y'all with, please let us know in the chat, because the benefit for the show should not be us. It should be the listener. It should be the viewer, so that you could continue to view this channel, view this content, because you know that you personally can get something from it, because we are regular people that have YouTube channels that put in the work to gain knowledge, to disseminate the information, to bring you some clarity in your life. So it doesn't just stop with our planned content. If y'all got something to say, light up them chats, we'll highlight it. Light up them super chats, we'll stop everything, right? Stop everything and get right to the get down. You know, I'm gonna get to the build, but before, something just hit my mind, right? You know, these channels on YouTube, right? These boy girl channels, what black men should do, what black women should do. These channels, right? They get all types of super chats, all types of support, and they ain't doing nothing but doing remedial conversation. We giving you high level consciousness with no filler, no bullshit, and we are interactive. Don't be afraid to light up that super chat, the Cash App, PayPal. Support conscious creators, because goddamn, y'all support the niggas that's doing the fluff. So with that being said, man, y'all got anything to say before we get into the conversation?
Have them notepads ready.
Facts. So take some notes, because we going just, you know, give the people some current events, right? Currently, the beef energy is still continuing on, man. When is this beef shit going to stop? Ever since Cat Williams sat down with Shannon Sharp, the comedians been beefing, the singers been beefing. They mad at Beyonce for doing country music. Right now, Soldier Boy is beefing with Metro Boomin over an old tweet 12 years ago. Soldier Boy on Mother's Day jumps over the fence, and the rap beefs is corny now. Nicki Minaj talking about Megan Thee Stallion's deceased mom. Soldier Boy talking about Metro Boomin's deceased mom. Dog, if you got a problem with somebody, don't talk about their deceased mom. I mean, that's just a line crossing that we should never get to.
fellas, is all fair in love and war, or did these niggas cross the line with dissing a nigga's mom? What say y'all?
I would say it's all fair in Hollywood, but don't emulate these jokers. Because at the end of the day, it's just entertainment for us. You know what I mean? Because if you really had a problem with somebody, you're not about to get on Instagram or Twitter. You're gonna go see that person, or you're gonna keep your distance. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be that. But they got a stage. You know what I mean? And especially Soulja Boy. Anytime I see Soulja Boy, I'm like, oh shit.
Big Draco, Big Draco, Big Drake.
That's what I would say about it.
My thing is, you can't see what you got right here is a picture of 4 melanated men getting emotional, getting angry. So you should learn this as a lesson. Like, yeah, it's a gimmick. Yeah, they might be doing this for bread or just doing to get clout. But at the end of the day, you got to take it for what it is and not see yourself doing some dumb shit like that. Like, you get that mad to tell somebody, to talk about somebody dead homie, somebody dead family member, like, you getting that hot to do stuff like that? Like, think about what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So some people die about that shit, dog. Like saying shit like that.
Yeah. I'm a huge proponent for personal morality. I understand that these individuals think based off of their predecessors that rap is a blood sport. However, at the end of the day, you can't dole out any type of punishment to somebody that you're not willing to take in return. And I'm sorry if I'm not sorry to say that when I choose violence, I make sure to choose violence with the individuals that I know that I can take it there with. And if you're not prepared to take it there with these people, and then these people come back at you and your family members and anybody that is attached to you, then you really shouldn't be in the game, because there is no rules when it comes to these people. The world is a stage, and then one of these people give a fuck about anybody else. Like, that's just the harsh reality of it.
So my thing is, when the when the beef won't stop.
When the beef
it's not going.
When you think some more? Who else gonna beef now?
Okay.
It's up for everybody. It's up for everybody. It's up for everybody.
Let's get into the metaphysics of it, though.
Go ahead, big dog.
Let's get into the metaphysics of it, though. I'm about to just show you a chart real quick. Give me a second, but I'll explain it. Everything is moving into Taurus and sidereal charts, right? Now, when you look at Aries, the god of war, right? Everything was in Aries for the most part. Let me see. So now things is moving into Taurus. Now, what point am I trying to make now? The point that I'm trying to make is that Not Like Us is Kendrick Lamar's biggest song. That's Taurus energy. Using your voice to get something across, to make some big money, right? And that's basically what the energy is talking about. Like, you took that war, Biggie and Tupac. Puffy is one of the biggest moguls. Hail Mary, what was that CD? Machiavelli.
7 Day Theory, yep.
All that shit went stupid platinum after Pop died.
Life After Death.
All of these concepts is material concepts that was rooted in beef. Let's talk about America, one of the greatest countries of all time. Rooted in war.
Mm-hmm.
Without the war, you don't get the Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't fight for love, you probably don't got love. If you ain't fight for your career, You probably don't got a career, right? You fight for what you want, right? You fight for it. Anything that you want. And this is the differentiation between a winner and a loser, right? But you can see Kendrick Lamar saying, I don't like Drake being the #1 artist. I can't put out another Mr. Morale and Big Star. I gotta literally start a beef. And it was a masterful plan. If it's real, even if it's designed, if it's organized, that was organized pretty masterfully in relation to the astrology. So the beef is over, right? The major beefing is over. Now people is making money.
Man, and his money always gonna be there to be made.
All of your clothes are in there.
That's the crazy part.
No, you're about to be clean.
Oh,
You're bringing
and plus, with the astrology, you even got a Jupiter transiting. Like Jupiter was just in Aries, now it's in Taurus.
The Sun, Jupiter, Venus, and Uranus all about to be entering into Taurus for the next full moon. So we got a total shift of energy from beefing to making money.
That's why money's always gonna be there to be made, man. Like,
It almost makes you wonder if the beef or the manufactured beef actually was a ploy in order for these individuals to get more money. Because before the beef, rap was at its lowest of lows since its inception, right? So now, after the beef starts and all of these different parts are going in all these different directions, Kendrick Lamar blows everybody out of the water, and rap is actually up now. But before the beef started, nobody was talking about rap. Nobody was checking for rap. So it makes you almost wonder if you get what I mean. Maybe this was a ploy from the beginning in order to get the masses to come back to the stores and to get back online and to get back to the streaming and to get back to the picking their favorite artists and this and that and so forth. Like maybe that was the whole entire reason to begin with. Because if no one is paying attention, the umbrella that is UMG is in charge of Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. So if they all exist under the same umbrella, is it really a real beef?
It's a campaign.
But then if it is that, they're gonna have everybody all summer talking about pedophile this and pedophile that while doing their two-step. And I just thought, like, why plan that? That's just like, come on. Like we could have did better. Pac said hit him up. Biggie said who shot ya? You new niggas is calling each other pedophiles, and it's just like I can't dance to he a pedophile. Like I can't dance. If that's your shot, like you should have called the cops. You shouldn't have made a diss about it. Like
I mean, it's a whole TikTok now, a whole reel. Two-step telling to
that nigga. Arrest that nigga. I don't want to diss a nigga. That's a pedophile. Don't diss. Pop said that's why I fucked your bitch. She ain't saying that's why I killed your bitch. Cause that bitch, she gotta go to jail.
Yo.
If you fucked your bitch, that's not a criminal offense. Now I gotta dish you back, right? And then Biggie say, "Who shot you?" Like, who shot you, nigga? Like that's like the nigga just got shot. You don't know who shot him. Biggie said, "Who shot you?" Like,
well, I say this, big bro. Is there rules? Are there rules that exist in the gladiator sport?
That's the question that I ask. That's the question that I ask. Is there
Because if you because morality is a personal thing, right? There is no such thing as collective morality. There is no such thing as something that everybody is supposed to do that's right or wrong. That doesn't exist. If it was, things would probably be a lot more easier, right?
Let me answer your question though. Winners win, losers lose.
Yeah.
But how about when we talk about your truth versus my truth?
Winners win, losers lose. If you don't understand shit and you think this is the thing, right? People is so fucked up now that their ideology precedes their biology, right? The thing that makes them them, they don't even know much about. But whatever they've been taught in like public school, the school that your mom didn't even pay for you to go to, she just sent your ass there, right? That information is what drives their feeling of being right and superior. But the reality is you have a whole biological circadian system that can inform you on basically everything there is to know, and people don't even like consult with that, right? So like people will say like, I don't know, it's my truth, I can date whoever I want to date, but your biology is saying no, you're supposed to date this specific person, right? But you wouldn't be in tune with that, and you say I can date anybody, but motherfuckers go in and out relationships like they got them revolving doors. So if you win and you can date who you want to date, and you got married, walked down the aisle, and a nigga devoted his life to you, and you happy in that relationship, you won. But I can date whoever I want to date, and you losing? Nah, sis, or nah, bro. You it sound good, but it don't have no real results. And spiritually, that's where a lot of niggas can get into the scam of the whole spiritual community at. Because you can just tell a nigga anything and they'll run with it. But is it getting you the results? And 10 times out of 10, it's your biology that's going to get you your results and not no ideology.
Well, it sounds like you talking about know thyself.
Yeah. I mean, ain't that the basic thing that nigga said soon as you walk through the door? Know thyself?
Well, actually, you're 1000% right. But actually, they wouldn't let you through the door until you knew yourself.
But that's the thing. Like over time, the game changed. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm a firm believer in always respecting the craft. You know what I mean? And if you lose in a game where your craft ain't even respected, you get what I'm saying? Like, imagine watching a boxing match and this dude is biting, you know, hitting below the belt and shit. It's kind of like, why the fuck is you even in the ring with this idiot? You know what I mean? He don't respect the craft. He not boxing. You know what I mean? And if you really own your craft, you will still beat the fuck out of him. You get what I'm saying?
Now I totally agree with that as well. But unless I knew that you was taking steroids.
Yeah.
Are you hitting on the Haney and Ryan Garcia?
No, I'm hitting on that, you know, one boy supposedly has a team of ghostwriters and the other boy doing it himself.
Yeah, but no, is nobody at that level that don't have writers, because you can't even Kendrick Lamar, artists of that magnitude, is feeding too many people to come out with some boom bap. I want to do this shit for my creative. No, nigga. That's why it took him 5 years to put out a CD, because his record label is like, no. All right, well, help him out. Like the niggas that be around Kendrick Lamar, Ab Soul, they in the studio together. And who's to say, niggas like, nah, say this, nah, do it this way. Like, that's basically what this shit is about. So I'm never going to say, all of these niggas got writers, because they're at the top of their game. And to be at the top of your game, you need all hands on deck. So I think it's just a myth that these niggas is that creative. These niggas are corporations. Ain't no corporation ran by itself, bro. Literally is no such thing as a one-man corporation. It just could never be. Because who's gonna fix the motherfucking toilet when it break down? You and you gonna then run the business too? No, you need to bring people on board. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the names that we know, they for sure got writers. And trust me, it's talented niggas in this music business that you'll never hear about. But they for sure will be writing for Future, writing for this nigga, writing for that nigga. Because the reality of the music business, you don't got a chance in hell. You might as well motherfucking try to make it to the NBA today, nigga. You 38 or you rock 41 right now, smoke mad Newports, got a better chance of making it in the NBA than being a top tier rapper. Because this
is a fact. This is a fact. But I think the difference is the availability to correspondences that one can point to versus the other. And also this, I think, really brings me back to my original point, that they are all under the same umbrella, right? So if this is a campaign, right, then you are supposed to look like the natural writer, and I'm supposed to look like the manufactured artist, right? You are supposed to look like the person who came from the slums and got it out the mud, and I'm supposed to look like the cultural appropriator, right? What else is going to sell tickets? Because what you niggas were saying before this was not selling tickets. And like to hammer down on what Hood said just a minute ago, Kendrick Lamar comes out once every 3-4 years.
Facts. Hella songs just sitting on.
Or he just need that much time to get most of his writers to do all of the work that he needs them to do. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real.
Like, this goes both ways. I think that's the conversation that we having that the public needs to understand or should understand. Like, this goes both ways. If the world is a stage, then all of these dudes are acting, right? I guess it matters based off of your confirmation bias or your cognitive dissonance, which one you pick, right? Or you can just choose the spiritual side of this and not digress within any direction whatsoever.
Yeah, I think, but it goes deeper than that because a lot of it is like sex magic. A lot of it, if you think about music, music is a form of hypnosis, high-level hypnosis that induces hypnotic states within people to then have them do things outside of their normal character and their normal ego. So you talking about music, you talking about high-level magicians, high-level sorcerers, werewolves, vampires. I'm not trying to sound crazy, but you would just have to watch the movie The Queen of the Damned to get a much of, like, you got to watch that shit a few times to get a gist of, oh, this is what they're doing. And there are certain people that either die, like it's a list, right? The best rappers are dead, right? And it's a lot of dead rappers. But if you watch The Queen of the Damned, where Aaliyah, the main black character in that movie, is getting literally eaten alive. So you got to ask yourself, why do Gucci Mane and Lil Wayne go to jail when they millionaires? And if you know a millionaire, that's probably the last thing they're ever going to do is go to jail. Well, maybe they don't have a choice but to go to jail. And another question, they come out of jail and they look completely different, almost like they're not even the same person anymore. Why is that? Because we're dealing with literal gods that have literal magical abilities to dictate people. Like, you know, so it's bigger than, you know, just some niggas rapping, right? I think it's high level magic and sorcery, but on another note, we got, the gift that keeps on giving. The diddler strikes again. Well, it's kind of like circling back. In 2016, it was a surveillance video where, and I'm not going to show it, but use your imagination. He is beating up his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel.
He put hands and feet on her.
Yeah.
He put hands and feet on her, bro.
He really went in on her, right? And the question is, why are they bringing up this type of stuff now? If this happened in 2016, right? Like, what are they trying to get the public to feel about Puff Daddy, and why? Like, what's up next for him? What do y'all see in the future for Puff? Are we going to overlook all of this and sing Kumbaya and be dancing to his music in the club? Is he going to jail? Like, what is up with Puff in your personal opinion? Because I never seen some man be so high and end up being so low in such a short amount of time in my life.
I'm gonna let the other brothers go first. I'll go last.
I would say it's, of course, it's another ritual, but it's understanding why these shame rituals happen, man. Like, because it's just like the whole other people getting canceled, baby got canceled. Like, this right here is just like crazy. So my thing is like, what is Puff bringing to the table to cause him to even get this type of attention? Like, because how many people? There's been people who like went out, right? But then people bring up things like, yeah, but he was going to drop this and he was going to bring out this information. That's why they brought up this stuff to let this happen to him. But you ain't been seeing that with Puff Daddy, though. So, he did.
The diddler.
Yeah, it makes me think of how they had, what's the dude name, Epstein and R. Kelly. Is now
Exactly.
It's Diddy and Drake, and now the Nickelodeon pedophile. What's his name? Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider.
You know what I mean? It's always like we gotta put a black person up when a white person get caught. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's locked and loaded. You know what I mean? Because when you looking at media, you're looking at these screens. I'm gonna say that when you're looking at these screens, these corporations and these businesses like Viacom and Universal Music Group, they have a certain stereotype. They have a certain idea that they want people to represent and portray. You know what I mean? And as long as that's being upheld, they know how you feel about yourself. You know what I mean? And they can continue to make money off of you. It's kind of like they just procuring their food, you know what I mean? And your attention is their nourishment, and to keep you in a certain frame of thinking. I think that they give you these stories in a certain way. You know what I mean? Because like y'all was saying, like most of this shit been happening. Why we just learning about it now? It's like they making a media mix or media cocktail to just like hit you with. You know what I mean? Like, we got this story gonna get you this, make you feel this way, then this story gonna pull you apart. This story gonna make you happy.
We got 7 niggas beefing.
And then boom, they drop it on society. You know what I mean? And then sprinkle a little bit of, Ukraine, taxes, student loans in there, and I think it's just man, it's a fucking game, man. It's a game.
If I may, I would start out by saying that initially, if I was just on one side of this thing, I would think that this was the ghost of Kim Porter coming back and rectifying things, right?
Oh,
because he never had the answer for the death of his wife, right?
Yeah.
But even on a deeper level, like Hood said, this man hasn't been charged of anything. No matter how much shit that they show us or been showing us since they started blasting this man in the media, he still has yet to be charged. So what would be the need to keep all of this information and then dole it out like it's some presidential campaign, or to knock somebody off of a presidential campaign, and then at the same time, he still hasn't been charged, right? So we have to ask ourselves all of the questions instead of jumping into the emotional side of the pool, because that's the easy thing to do, right? It's easy to say, oh, do bad, see bad, call bad. Like, it's easy to do that, but why has he not been charged? That's all I'm saying.
Man,
Yeah.
that's one great powerful spellcaster. But nah, man.
Wait, so are you saying that this is how deep the acting goes?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, big bro. Yes. Absolutely. Because why would you put the evidence out there if you haven't charged him yet? Because clearly if the feds were involved, the feds only get involved when they know they got you. They have an 89% conviction rate when the feds get involved. The feds is going to the house and they arresting people for drugs. The feds is going to the house and they raiding the house, and nobody is coming out with Diddy. They talk about Diddy flying planes into the ground. They talk about Diddy doing all of this shit, but nobody is charging Diddy. But y'all got all of this evidence for the masses to see, but nobody charging Diddy? Y'all gonna have to make that make sense. The math don't math for me on that.
It just seemed like you're a black man, no matter how much money you make. Period.
Yeah, we back to that again. Yep, we back to that again. You a nigga no matter what. It's back. We back to that again, bro.
And if you piss one of these niggas off, they gonna make you feel it. There's only somebody fucking with Puff Daddy. If this is real, somebody is fucking with this man in real life.
Yep. That's a fact.
That's why. That's why. Since somebody that's powerful that can, because they have like private security agencies, digital security, hackers. You can hire hackers to just facial recognition. Anytime your face come up in the camera, they will get a fucking zip drive of that shit, and now it could just be somebody just giving this shit to CNN. Look at your boy Diddy. Boom. Post it on Diddy. But it's another thing. Old girl, what's her name? Jaguar Wright, saying that Diddy got videos that he trying to sell on the dark web
of everybody.
Yeah, because he broke for real. And I think like it's a deep rabbit hole, because Diddy been playing with politicians ever since. So it's like
there's not a person in any one of these industries that falls up under the elite umbrella that hasn't been to a Diddy party. Not one of them. Right? So just like they could put anybody on Epstein Island that they want to because they were actually there and all of them went there, same thing with Diddy. Like same thing with Hugh Hefner. Like they would never be able to separate that. So they have to do it this way because there's no legal way for them to do it. Because you didn't see this with Harvey Weinstein, right? I'm sure that casting couch of his is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real about this.
He got his whole case reversed. His whole case is turned off. He's got.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what this makes me think of, though, big bro? This makes me think of how the boy Russell Simmons got to skate and go to a country with non-extradition clauses, and he doing videos on TikTok and Instagram every day.
I mean, more power.
The same shit. Yeah, but I'm saying the same shit that they were saying about Diddy, they said about Russell, and Russell just figured it out. He left.
I mean, that's always the option, right? That's always an option for dudes. And the reality is that we talk about it because these is black men or black centered men, but at the end of the day, it's other people of other races that's the play. They already created the playbook, right? Wrote the playbook, and niggas is already following the plays. So when it'd be one nigga, Russell Simmons, the only nigga out there, though. You feel me? Like in a sea of other white men and other races of men who just as creepy as him, right? But it's just like in our community, this is kind of like, I don't even think we even prepare for the truth to come out. But what I'm noticing is that the truth is about to come out, but I guess it'll be good for this show. Like a lot of people is not going to be prepared to hear different information about the people that they know and love. Because it was one time where this shit was conspiracy. Epstein was a conspiracy. Pedophile shit was a conspiracy. Diddy parties was a conspiracy. Nah, that shit's real. But now, the deeper level, you got to connect Diddy to the Democratic Party because that's who he basically rolled with. He wasn't rolling with Trump. He was rolling with
he was making all that noise for Hillary. He was making all that noise for Hillary.
He was making hella noise for Hillary Clinton. So he is adjacent to all of this bullshit. But then it's like, yeah. And he's putting out the suicide music to black people too. So he's getting it in both angles. Like he's really dealing with the level of karma that's really bestowed upon him. And it's like, damn, that sucks for him. But then it's like, what about, have y'all been noticing it in any other way, in a normal way, in any other way of like karma? Like, have y'all seen people's karma come to them in this 2024, in this 8th year, in this Saturn year?
Yeah, no, I know a lot of people that's getting hit over the head by life. You know what I mean? Like losing jobs. Man, I know about 3 people that got into a car crash within the last 3 months. People like, man, like just really, and these are people that I wouldn't think are like bad people, you know what I mean? But I think what needs to be done, or what you can do, is aligning with your Christ ancestors, aligning with your ancestors and your DNA line that have cultivated their spiritual gifts, you know, and not align with those ancestors that was out here on some Diddy shit. You know what I mean? Not aligning with the ancestors that was just neutral with this shit. You really have to pick a side and really stand in that, you know, and leave the wickedness alone. Cause it's no way to really get over, you know, when it comes to like the energy you put out. You know what I mean? But yeah, shit has been real crazy for people. Like I know people that was like straight A students in college. Now they taking hard drugs. And I ain't not weed and not crack, hard drugs, you know what I mean? Not, you get what I'm saying? And
I got you.
Yeah, I would, the thing I've been doing is meditating every morning and thanking spirit for protecting me from myself and keeping me out of the bullshit, man. And every now and then I'll just delete all the social media off my phone. And sometimes I'll just sit at the edge of my bed, man, and allow my intuition to tell me what to do next. Because it's a lot going on and it's a lot that wants your attention, you know. Yeah, that's all I could really say about it. Like, just meditate and do love spells on yourself. I've been doing that. I've been doing love spells on myself, taking baths and then burning lavender, rose petals, and just giving thanks. Because I think that's what we need right now. We need to be our own superhero. We need to be our own savior. You know, even with y'all listening to us on here, you know, don't just take what we saying for face value. You know what I mean? Go do the research. You know what I mean? If you want to learn something, go practice it after you learn it. This shit is wicked. It's real wicked out here.
But when you started talking, you made me like to just respond to what you just said. You started talking about like, you know, just the feminine energy, but that made me think about in Kabbalah, they talk about Saturn related to Banah, and Banah is the feminine aspect of God. But to me, that's like my grandmama realm of understanding, right? That's the big mama in understanding. So Capricorn is actually feminine. Saturn is actually feminine, right? In Jewish Kabbalah, Saturn is linked to the concept of Shekinah, the divine feminine presence that dwells within the physical world, right? And then it's like the Saturn in Kabbalah also emphasizes the importance of self-discipline, where I just put out in my Substack, in my meditation masterclass, if you ain't meditating every single day, some form of meditation that you developed, then it's hard to get on this spiritual journey, because like Jabri said, all you dealing with is distractions. Even the cold shit that you think you doing, the shit that you studying, the shit that you think is the bee's knees is a distraction, right? The reality is that there's only your intuition that should be guiding you every single step of the way. But if you're not in tune with that, right? Because usually outside of Saturn is the ego, is my truth, right? Is what I think, is what I want, is what resonates with me. And you look out here looking crazy, not getting no real results. So humility under God, under that feminine and masculine presence that dwells within you. Saturn could be the physical body, right? Because Saturn rules the fascia, the connection between skin and muscle, right? Your whole entire body represents Saturn, but that is a spiritual modality. Your whole essence is spiritual intelligence. And you should be humble to that intelligence outside of the ego wanting to be special, right? Saturn represents the need to accept and work within the limits and boundaries of the physical world rather than trying to transcend or escape them, right? And a lot of it is like just being cool with where you at and making it do what it do. And that's really the energy. But 10 times out of 10, especially since 2020, these niggas been jumping out the window with this one, jumping out the window with this one. Right. These niggas been thinking that they is just the bee's knees. And I'm like, yo, we all just regular. And if you don't understand that, you gonna really be fucking with some motherfuckers that have you jumping out the window. You like, damn, I thought you was special. Gotcha, bitch. Right? Like, man. That's just the energy. Like, you know, we all got a vessel that we can learn to master. Or we can just keep thinking that we special and crash the fuck out, man.
Because if anything, the one thing on your journey, your hero's journey that you should really be doing, the main thing you should be studying is understanding your body. Like at the end of the day, even the first book in Genesis talking about you as made in the image of God. So understanding that image, understanding you is like the simplest thing you can do. I mean, how many? It's just too many health books, too many books on the body. Just I could just not to be checking them out and say you don't know how your body is functioning. Because that is the science into Kundalini.
What you got on the serpent?
Honestly, it's almost like what you brothers are saying, which you're describing, is about self work, not social work, right? Like, I think when you get caught in the trap of living your life through what you see, or living your life based on comparison, or living your life based on what's going on around you, and you have absolutely zero wherewithal about what's going on within you, it's almost like you walking around blind. You just don't know that you're blind. And no matter what it is that comes out of all of this stuff in these current events, no matter what it is that transpires from any one of these individuals that you may be a fan of or not a fan of, you know, whatever, no matter what comes out of that with them, what does that have to do with you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think what is going on socially is emblematic or contextually connected to what is going on individually within the masses itself, right? Everybody has issues and everybody has problems that they are ignoring, that they're taking for granted, that they're just not paying enough significant interest in order for them to be able to rectify. And it's almost as if people choose to rectify themselves within society, and it just doesn't work that way. Right? Like, you can't fix yourself by trying to be right about somebody else's shit. Like, that shit, that is insanity in its best. Like, you can't psychologically say, I'm going to fix this problem, but I'm going to ignore the shit that's going on within my heart every fucking day. Right? Like, you can't pick and choose what to take care of outside of you, when what's going on inside of you, you are totally oblivious to. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Nah, but let's talk about Kendrick Lamar and drinking them though. Like, let's all this shit, nigga.
My bad.
You just triggered me. I don't want to talk about no real shit right now. I just want to talk about what's going on outside.
He talking about how niggas be programmed.
Shit crazy, man. But you 100% right. Let's talk. Let's talk about. Let's take niggas on the.
Yeah, let's lighten this up. I need some chicken wings and Hennessy right now. Let's lighten this up.
Let's do some shucking and jiving. You know, you got to get some watermelon or some shit, man. Man.
Yeah, I showed you there's some strawberries for the line, man.
No, but watermelon is good for hydration. It's good for dick health. You know, it's
I had 3 pussy fibers before this live, so let's go, nigga.
Eternal.
Man.
B12. No, but what was that actual verse? Because I just want to build up a metaphysical conversation. I want to build it from the Bible, and then I want to manifest it in the present day and a real life conversation going. But when you talk about the Bible with niggas, they be like, I don't want to talk about that old shit. But it's like literally not old shit. It's what's happening right now. It's eschatological. Don't ask me to pronounce that.
Can we give them a precept as to what the Bible is supposed to be used for anyway? That way we don't sound like some preachers up here.
Penny said, you gotta motherfucking. You gotta do the definition for niggas, because niggas will think you want some shit. Eschatology is the part of theology concerned with death, judgment, and the final destiny of the soul and of humankind. Eschatology is trying to get to the point of it all. And when we are eschatologists, right, and we are trying to figure out what the Bible is even talking about. If you know what the Bible is talking about, then get up here on this live. We'll send you a damn link, and you can just explain it to us. But if you, like us, you're trying to figure it out, and that's basically what we're doing here. But what was the next question, though, sir?
Oh, nah, that was it. You already did it. That's all I was talking about. Because sometimes when people go into the Bible stuff on live, they're like, "Oh shit, here we go with this church
Here
shit
we
again."
go with this Bible shit, But anyways, I want to make it plain and make it real. But just point out the verse to me. I'm in chapter 1, Exodus. But what verse are we reading from?
It was actually chapter 5 to chapter 12.
Oh,
It was the chapters.
okay.
It was just gonna speak on just the chapters.
Okay. Well, then just let me know when to go, or just direct and
Yeah. So
just go from chapter to chapter. Just paraphrase if you want, whatever you want to do.
yeah, so basically, I'm gonna just jump in like you've already read it. You've already have some remote understanding. This is food for thought. You can go do the dishes. Basically, here we got Moses, and Moses is basically having a conversation with the Lord, and he's telling him that you have been chosen to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt. Now, speaking metaphysically, everything that I'm gonna say is metaphysically. Egypt represents your lower nature. It represents sense consciousness, so it represents your urge for seeing aesthetically pleasing things.
The flesh is weak. The flesh is weak.
Everything cardinal, sex, food, anything that makes you feel comfortable, and then Egypt represents in this, the darkness of ignorance, obscurity, body consciousness. It represents illusion, and the 12 tribes of Israel are basically, you can say it's your chakras, you can say it's your glands. Like, the jewels of your body are your glands. The jewels is what gives you your experience through the secretions that they have. And they can either be, secretions that's stretching you out, or you literally feeling bliss, no matter if you know what I mean, you live in a 1-bedroom apartment with you, your wife, and your kid, or you living in a mansion, you know what I mean, with you, your wife, and your kid. So basically, the Lord telling Moses, you are chosen to take the children out of Israel. So right now, the children of Israel are in bondage. They're in captivity right now, and they have multiplied at such a great rate to the point where the Egyptians feel that they could be a threat at some point. It's kind of like, if we Egyptians get into a war, the Israelites is just gonna side with them and take us out. So what they did, they made everything a lot more difficult for them, purposefully. And then that takes us on to like chapter, I'll say go to chapter 7, Hood. Okay, and then we get to a part where basically Moses' cousin helps him, Aaron, and this when we get into the symbolism of the staff, and the staff representing your spine. It represents your Kundalini energy. Once again, we're talking about getting out of Egypt and raising your energy up, because Israel sits above Egypt on the map geographically. So it's about taking your energy up out of Egypt, taking it out of sense consciousness with your staff. And also the staff represents authority. Like the saying, the Lord is my shepherd. You should be like a sheep unto your soul. You should allow your soul to guide you as if you were a fucking dog, you know what I mean? And it's not to be degrading, you know what I mean? It's a humbling thing. It's to understand how lost you would be without, without this understanding of your true identity.
I think just to add to your wisdom, it goes, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. It can be interpreted that you don't want the Lord to be your shepherd, but that's not the correct interpretation. The correct interpretation, the Lord is my shepherd, period, I shall not want, period. Because the Lord is my shepherd, because I'm guided by my intuition, I don't literally have to want for anything because I'm guided by my soul. So when you are any person, good, bad, or indifferent, when you are a desirous person, you are demonic in essence. And it can be the sweetest grandmother, overall demonic, because she wants and desires things. She don't fully understand and overstand to be led by something, to not want, and then to be given the kingdom of God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is real science that you're dropping, but go ahead.
Yeah. And then, fast forward, and this is from Exodus 1 through 12. So I encourage everybody to read it probably like 3 times, even listen to an audiobook if you have to. But then we get to the 10 plagues. And basically what's happening here is that the Lord is constantly telling Moses, tell Pharaoh to let my people go to take us, so that y'all can come praise. You know what I mean? So y'all can do y'all work. And 10 times the Pharaoh, or 9 times the Pharaoh says, okay, y'all can go ahead. But the plagues are like turning the Nile River into blood, infestation of frogs, gnats everywhere, other pests, outbreaks, disease of livestock, boils afflicting humans, hailstones, locusts, darkness, and then finally the death of the firstborn, which is basically before the death of the firstborn is Passover. Before I get into Passover, it's important here to understand that you are plagued when you serve your lower nature. These 10 plagues, there's 10 worlds on the Kabbalah, just throw that in there. These 10 plagues represent the affliction that you put upon yourself, that you willfully allow happen to yourself when you serve your sense consciousness. When you willfully do not do your spiritual work, it becomes very hard for you. You know what I mean? Like even the water being turned to blood in the Nile, you know what I mean? You may have problems with your blood, or the boils, dealing with acne, or pests. You might have a dirty ass house, you know what I mean? Like certain things will show you that you got the game fucked up. You know what I mean? If you heed to these signs, follow each step of what you've done to your life, you can undo it and make it something different. But the thing is not to be partial to glamour.
You can't serve 2 masters.
Yes.
You just can't.
And Israel has to get out of Egypt so that they can do their spiritual work, because you cannot take glamour with you as your Kundalini rises. That's basically what it is. So this is basically the work before the work. You have to tame the physical body. You have to tame the beast first before you can go into do your spiritual work, because you cannot be someone who embodies the sin of pride or lust and then raise your Kundalini. That could be the worst thing for yourself and others. And I mean, that's basically it. understanding that before you can take on energy, higher energy, and raise your energy and cultivate your energy, you first have to clear it. You first have to purify it. And that's what's represented when Israel is making its way out of Egypt into Canaan. Exodus means to get out, to leave.
And just to add on to that, if you guys don't really understand what sense consciousness is, you can go ahead and check out the Harrison's Book Club, where we really dive in deep into the Bible, and we're diving into it deep tomorrow. So check us out and be ready for that, because this is just like they always tell you in church, your Bible is like your sword.
Yeah.
You always just want to be able to have that information next to you and ready, just understand it.
Big bro, could you pull up that emblem of the Kabbalah tree over the human body? So I just want to say thank you to when I tell you I love these niggas, I love these niggas. So like, when you think about the 10 paths, you have to incorporate 22 directions. All right. So you got 10 paths within that. The bottom part is your skin. It's your human part, which is the senses that the brothers were describing. That's your sensory understanding of your reality. However, your sensory understanding of your reality is it's a lie, right? This is why you'll never get enough sex that will satisfy you. This is why you will never get enough partners or enough whatever that will satisfy you, no matter how much you get high or how many vices that you buy into or how many things that you feel that you can gain and accumulate that actually fulfill you. You got 22 paths on there, right? But you only got 10 spheres. Those 10 spheres are emblematic of your being connecting with its physical and its spiritual. So I'm Tantra, right? If you're ever confused about what I do here, I am Tantra, right? Tantra is weaving. It is weaving the spiritual with the physical. You have to be able to weave those things together. This is why if you're not right spiritually, your physical attributes will never measure up. They will never get you to the place where you are good, because the work is never done. The work is never finished. That bottom sphere represents Malkuth. Malkuth is everything here on this material plane. That top sphere is the crown. That is your divinity. That is everything that you do not see, that actually makes everything go that you do see. It's a beautiful symphony if you stop looking for what you gain from it, right? There is no thing that you can do today that is going to make everything better tomorrow. Like every day can be one thing or every day can be nothing. That exodus is perfect, because the current social dynamic means you can either exit the matrix, right? Or you can buy into the matrix and think, you know, this beef thing and this PFD file thing and this P Diddy and whatever thing, like you can think that those things actually matter. Or you can know thyself. You can get to the point where you're trying to know thyself. And that is knowing thyself. Exiting all of this material shit and gaining and cultivating and building something for yourself. within yourself because it already exists within you. That tells you right there that it's already in you. You got 22 paths, 22 Hebrew letters. Each one corresponds with a different part of the being. That's beautiful right there. That's beautiful right there.
Yeah, I think it ties into like Kundalini all the way, you know, but it's like a thing of life that I don't think ever people, for one, people don't care about Kundalini, activating their Kundalini, and people don't care about the Bible. So when you inherently don't give a fuck about this shit, then it'll be like a world where there's like a million different topics, and every single topic is bullshit, right? Because to get to the crux of the matter, right? To be like Exodus in Israel, niggas would be trying to go to Egypt and being like, yeah, Joaquin Ben Akor, he was fighting the goddamn Pharaoh right here. Fucking, this is
That
right.
name is hard. Joaquin Ben Akor.
Old Jewish nigga, and then that really didn't exist, right? Get people out of somewhere, and it's this, but it's profound how the Bible can give you a completely made up story, but it be real in reference to Exodus. What Exodus literally means to go up, right? A way, a path, a road, a journey, a march, going out, right? A departure. They're talking about your Kundalini energy at your root chakra going upward from the base of your spine.
Mm-hmm.
Exodus.
And to add on to that, remember we was talking in the pre-show a while ago. We was talking about when you're not building that up in the root. When you're not building that up, it's just water just sitting there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally called Kunda. Kunda means a boiling pot of water. And that's just motherfuckers just being horny all day, right? Not knowing no better, right? But that could be the fuel to get you everything that you truly want and truly desire out of life. And that's just really the irony of all life, especially for young black men, right? Because a lot of young black men are going to waste a large majority of their time fucking bitches and playing video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what black men are going to do. And when they're trying to figure shit out, they can't even really look in the mirror and say, well, where did I fuck up at? I don't see what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I was just playing video games and fucking hoes. Everybody was doing it, right? And they just be so confused about it. But me being a 39-year-old man about to be 40 years old this year, I know exactly where I fucked up at. Chasing hoes, playing video games, watching TV. If you don't do those things as a young black man, the world is yours. You can have anything you want in this planet. But I bet you your son right now, he is afflicted, demonized by that PS5, that raggedy tail hair girl from around the corner, or some more shit, right? But we not be able to talk about it because it's just so normal, right? He's just a boy, he gonna grow out of it. But no, it's other kids, 14, 15, 16, putting the work in.
And I can second that. Like, I'm 44. I'm in my 4 year, and everything that Hood Mystic said is right and exact. Like, the only thing I wish I had growing up was somebody to teach me about my motherfucking time, right? Was a man that could teach me about my motherfucking time, right? So what they saying is exactly right. Like, I wasted a lot of my time trying to get high and trying to fuck bitches. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You know, man, the whole thing with this, knowing thyself, it's an experience, man. And before you even label something, you always got to experience it first. So enjoy your experience and don't compare it to somebody else's. Like sometimes people will share their revelations or share the things they go through, and then people will feel like damn, like am I really doing the work, or am I really doing these things? And your path is your path, but you have to show up for yourself. You just can't call other people and just expect them to like jump for you. Honestly, we go to fast food because we want something handed to us, something quick. We never want to cook something.
Yeah, the human being is not built for convenience, but the human being loves convenience. Make that make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could you bring up Exodus 3? Or I'm sorry, chapter 13, verse 3?
Yeah.
Now, I want to share a jewel that I got. Because it's talking about Passover. This is after Passover in chapter 13. And you see leavened bread, unleavened bread. And it's like, what does this mean? While you pull that up, I'm going to just read my notes on it. The idea of leaven and unleavened bread is interesting. Crossing species and gene transfer to create a new being. Leavened bread, key characteristics comes from yeast, a bacteria. Unleavened bread is like base level, not crossed. The tribes are being told to get out of their lower nature before crossing. So basically, the leavened bread is base bread. So, okay, right here. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which you came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of the hand of the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten.
Somebody was trying to scrape a line or something. I don't know what the fuck.
Look at me.
I muted him for you, big bro.
Okay, did you hear me say that whole verse?
No.
No, not at all.
Not even a little bit.
Oh, damn. All right. Should I read it again or just?
Please. If you don't mind.
Right. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. And so, did you hear me talk about leavened and unleavened bread?
Yeah, I heard that for sure.
Okay. So basically, the unleavened bread is bread that is basically no yeast was put into it. Mm-hmm. Is no mix with another species. And basically, the Lord is saying, do not partake in spiritual work until you have ascended. The leavened bread represents a alchemical change. You get what I'm saying? The yeast puts the bread through a chemical change. It changes the bread. It allows the bread to rise. You get what I'm saying? Really, bread would be like a cracker if you didn't add yeast to it. You get what I'm saying? Or it'd be like a flat pita bread. So this symbolism just basically means unleavened is the physical man and leaven is the spiritual man. So once you do your work, before the work, read this verse and rejoice in the fact that you have ascended and you are now initiated into your soul. That's what it means. Because once you've done that work, now you can eat leavened bread. Because leavened bread is basically someone else's truth. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what your truth is and cross with that. But I'm done talking about Exodus.
No, you good. I was enjoying the wisdom. Go ahead.
And honestly, if like if you want the people who not ahead and reading Exodus, you should go read Genesis with us at the Hereford Book Club.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep saying that because not a lot of people is really trying to go through the Bible, take the time with it, and speak on a lot of information. So really come read with us, man. Check us out.
And I'll add that yeast are microscopic fungi for those that don't know. So just in case people will be like, you say that mushrooms are everything. No, I don't. I'm just Googling it. I don't know.
But
you're always trying to make it mushroom. No, not really. No,
niggas think you always trying to make a sale and shit.
Yeah, you always talking about mushrooms. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I was gonna bring up mushrooms earlier, but
nah, you can't help it. It's
What's next, big bro? What's next, big bro?
For sure. I was going to talk about the incubus and succubus, but there's couple of videos to watch first.
Incubus or succubus is a sexual demon that comes into your dream to have sexual interactions with you. A succubus is a female sexual demon and an incubus is a male sexual demon. If you are having sexual dreams and you can literally feel the sensation of having sex or whatever else in that dream, I gotta tell you right now, it's probably a succubus or an incubus. Whenever you have a sexual dream, you're supposed to only know that you're having a dream like that. You're not supposed to literally feel it. This girl posted on Twitter that she had a sex dream and she woke up with a hickey. That is not supposed to happen. If you wake up after having a sexual dream and you see like bruises and scratches or whatever on your body, I'm telling you right now, there is a demon around you. This also commonly happens around the time that you have a lot of sleep paralysis, as there are a lot of evil spirits around you. What they do is they try to latch onto your energy to suck you dry, basically. You will usually have a choice of whether or not you will interact with the sexual demon in your dream, so choose not to.
Ever had sex in your dreams and you didn't immediately wake up and rebuke it, renounce it, denounce it, and come out of agreement with the kingdom of darkness in the name of Jesus? I want to tell you that you should do that now, because spirits that come to have sex with you in your sleep, they are incubus and succubus spirits, and they can keep you from getting married. They can keep you from meeting your person. They can block your love life from being fruitful. These spirits are extremely dangerous because they manifest in the physical in different ways that repel people from you. So if you ever find yourself waking up from a wet dream, quote unquote, or a demon, because that's what it is, having sex with you, rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Renounce it, denounce it, and come out of agreement with it immediately. In Jesus' name, be blessed.
So, one thing I always ask the bros, and what I've been asking them recently is, have you been protecting your flame? And I'm gonna ask everybody, what do they think I mean by that? Like, have you been protecting your flame?
What do you mean by that?
So, what I mean by that flame, right? I'm talking about that spark, right? And just to be straightforward, just semen retention. Because that flame is really, especially for men, the energy inside you that's keeping you going, keeping you strong, building you, nurturing you. So it's just like, and that is the spark for Kundalini. So imagine all that getting snatched up, get snatched away, and then you trying to do those practices. So it's like, is your flame being protected? Like, are you doing the things to raise that vibration, to protect that seed?
Indeed. Yeah, for sure. This is kind of one of those things that I've been really practicing since the past full moon at a high level, you know, and it's actually been extremely beneficial as far as just me being able to tap into my clear intuition and then just having the best luck that I could have, you know, and then just also have a clear vision for myself, because I always will link ejaculation to like mental health or depression or sadness. Even if I'm sad that I just let it go, you know, that's like my kids, you know, that I'm just kind of just, they like leaving me, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, don't go. But yeah, yeah,
For real.
it's a sad thing. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's like 1,000,000 of my kids have just died. Like, what the fuck? Like, that is just some crazy shit.
Be sorry.
It's salty. So it's like, you got to keep that life force energy within you to be as successful as you possibly can be. But yeah, for sure.
Agree, Serpent. You protecting your flame.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I gotta keep it 1,000, right? So like I'm probably the most debaucherous nigga on this panel, right? I'm not even gonna hold you, right? But I'm also self-proclaimed the dark sacred serpent. The only reason I picked the serpent was because of the Kundalini, right? And it was my learning and then that part of me learning about the Kundalini and me learning as what it meant. That was the reason why I named myself the way I named myself, right? Like Hood was the first person to call me Serpent, but then like I just expanded on that because of the Kundalini and what I was studying at the time in Tantra and the raising of the Kundalini. And it's crazy because, you know, there's also something called the Kunda buffer, right? And if you're curious, you know, the Kunda buffer is the people who never raise their Kundalini. And that means that thing grows a tail out your ass, right? That is an actual thing. Scary, right? Yeah. But it's a real thing. Because this is your divinity. This is your God force power. This is your creation, your creativity point. Like this is your, essentially your essence, your everything. And like, I thought it was that much important because I was just never fulfilled completely from no sex that I ever had. Like, I'm just a nigga that used to be addicted to porn. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't understand that thing until I learned about that thing. And like, so when it got to a point of semen retention and it got to a point of being able to hold the seed, and then hold up, you mean there's an orgasm without spilling the seed? Hold up. Like, I needed to learn about that. Cause you know, like 6 million of those things come out every time a man ejaculates. Like, I needed to learn about that because they also call ejaculation and orgasm the little death. And I wanted to understand, like, why they called that shit the little death. That means like, you ever notice, like, when a person, like a man comes, like, he don't want nothing to do with you after that. Like, if he in love with you, he'll hold you, right? But if he not in love with you, that nigga is out of there quicker than wet grease. Like, not wet grease, like cold grease. Like, he don't care about being there. And I just thought that was weird. So, yeah, Kundalini is something that means something to me. Like, that's my whole everything. My whole everything is being able to withstand and to withhold, because a man is not able to, in his normal rites of passage, to withstand a woman's seduction. He is not. That's why a lot of, I won't say most because I don't know most people, but a lot of people have sex and don't know what they're doing, and then at the end of it they regret it. Shadow work. So Kundalini And my Kundalini work is tied to my shadow work, and that is also tied to my psychology. That's tied to my subconscious and my unconscious, my regular consciousness. Like it's all tied together for me. And like if I couldn't connect with the individual that I wanted to be with or was going to be with on any one of those levels, then it really didn't make sense. And that's why Kundalini is like my ultimate. That's my everything.
Ashe.
I would also say, like, when I first started seeing intention, longest I went was 3 months, and I told y'all I had a dream that I physically beat up Batman and Superman.
Yeah, that was the craziest shit ever.
Yeah, like killed them with my hands. And,
Where is she?
And for me, I was suppressing the lust that I had for just multiple women, whether I could touch them or I could see them on the screen. You know, whether it was pornography, strippers on Instagram, OnlyFans, models, whatever. And it was a suppression. And you know, one thing to understand is that when you suppress something, is pushing back at you. And you really have to reconcile things with yourself when you are suppressing it, and you have to begin to release it. Just let it go. You know, I know it sounds easier said than done, but letting it go is no longer attached to you. You know what I mean? You no longer see it as something that, oh, I gotta keep it away from me. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't. You know, like you don't have a stress response to it anymore. You know, you don't have to worry about going back into Egypt. You know, you can stay in Canaan until Jerusalem comes. Just to draw that analogy home. But so just look at where you suppressing things and see how you can release them.
No,
because only through releasing do you actually, you know, purify, you know, and allow that Kundalini to rise.
And my thing is, it's like the reason why it's important to me that like how I'm trying to protect my flame is because I'm an athlete. So it's just like working out, being sore, and just even people who don't consider themselves athletes, but they work out every day and they're disciplined. Like that seed just helps you recover. Be under that moon, like helps you recover. I let them when it's the full moon, I let them shine on me. Like I take the drape down, window seal busting. So then I try to heal from that. It's just seam attention just helps you, and it's helped me just bring clarity to myself. But
I say,
you know, I'm not saying like I'm not perfect, bro. You know, I'm 24. I got more I got more mistakes to make, but at the same time following intuition. So I'm not worried.
Yeah, you know? It's a great way to practice discipline.
Okay.
It's no way to cheat senior retention. There's no way.
Man.
It's no way.
Honestly, if you work out, you won't. All that lust will be gone.
Energy.
Big bro. Hood. Could you please quickly explain to the people the difference between ejaculation and orgasm?
Oh well, it's ejaculation and orgasm is not the same for men, especially. Most men never going to experience an orgasm in their life. So an orgasm is like a spasm of the organs. Ejaculation is when you release semen. So releasing semen isn't an orgasm. But most men don't differentiate the two sensations. So if you learn how to ejaculate, you can start to experience them. But the thing about semen retention is that you got to kind of engage in some sexual activity or else you're not actually retaining semen. You're just kind of like existing. You know, you got to kind of get into the stimulation of your organs. You don't have to have it in a partner. You can do it solo, right? But engaging with your organs for a little bit of time and then stopping. What you'll notice from a magical perspective is that you'll get what you need and more, right? If you be intentional and you just have sex or masturbate, don't come, but then play with the energy. You got to get almost to where you're about to come and stop. And if you keep doing that enough, you're going to start to experience orgasms. But you're not going to, the same way you just not going to be walking down the street and have an orgasm. You got to have sex to practice semen retention. And I think that's probably the main key to semen retention that make or break a lot of men, because when you don't practice semen retention, you kind of building up that lust when you're not ejaculating. Like, then you just like, fuck it, I'm strong, you know? But semen retention is supposed to be beautiful the whole way through. And it's hard for it to be beautiful if your partner is not. Like, the most beautiful thing is to have your wife say, make sure you save it. Don't waste it. Mm-hmm. Hold it in. You know,
she tell you like, nah,
we done for now. You know, that's motivating, right? Yeah. Versus you jacking off for 5 minutes in the backyard, you know, trying to stimulate some shit, and it's like
the backyard is crazy.
Backyard is wild, but you just.
He said the backyard is wild. But that's what I was driving at, right? Because like there is a distinction that needs to be drawn in the sand in order for certain people to understand, like in order for certain people to be able to receive it, right? So like the idea of, you know, you releasing that thing being the everything that you need, you know, to satisfy you is the program. Right? That thing does not have to come out in order for you to get satisfaction. The problem is your idea of satisfaction is linked to that thing coming out. And what we are describing is there is a way for you to get the same satisfaction, if not more, because it's going to be more if you do not release it. Because releasing it releases all of the energy. It releases all of the intention. It releases all of the buildup. It releases everything that you are cultivating and working on, versus you being able to get the sensation, because we are sensory individuals. We are sensory human beings, right? You can get the same sensation without the release. And if you don't release it, guess what? You're not pushing this individual off you. You don't, you know, want them not to touch you after it's over. Like you'll hold them. Like it's yeah.
You fucking all night.
Yeah. Yes you are. Yes you are. Yes you are. If you can learn how to micromanage those sensations, you can do this thing all night long.
You actually love your wife. All night long. You actually love her, because when you orgasm, you killing yourself, and you're looking at her, and she's looking at you like that Puff Daddy meme with Odell Beckham, where they just staring at you. But what I want to say is, like, we are conditioned to crash out in our relationships through the modality of the ejaculation.
Yes.
All you going to get is a girl pregnant. You're going to ruin her pH balance. So if your cum enter and you going down to eat it, you like, this don't smell right.
Mm-hmm.
Think that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
You the reason.
And you know good and well you ain't willing to take care of the baby in the first place. So why not be in control of that thing regardless of the person you doing it with.
It's a lot of positives to understanding semen retention within your relationship before it gets to I hate you, I'm taking your ass to child support court. Like it's so many steps.
There's so many steps in between that, bro.
There's so many steps. Like
That's a fact.
And guess what? Like, you're not gonna hear this nowhere else on the internet. Not to cut your wisdom, big bro, but you're not gonna hear this nowhere else on the internet. Everybody else on the internet wants you to buy the flashiest things so you can get the girl and go do the damn thing, and they don't care how you do the damn thing. Like, we actually telling you, like, you probably don't have to spend all of that money, and you still probably gonna get the satisfaction at the end of the night if you just can control and have that self-discipline to know thyself and then know the partner that you choose.
Self-discipline. Self-discipline.
Because that's everything, bro. Like, if we could have put self-discipline within the porn game when niggas was learning about fake sex in the beginning, like, this shit would have been 10 times different.
Yep.
It wouldn't be no single mothers out here.
Yep.
But think of that's the whole conditioning. That's the whole conditioning between 1940 to 1970 to then the 1980s, 90s, 2000s.
Yep.
The conditioning is pornography, where we don't know nothing about sex other than what we've seen in pornography. So if a guy watches pornography and sees a girl doing or sees a guy doing some, you know what they be doing at the end of
some violent shit.
Some real carnal demonic shit. That's what they be doing. Y'all can say it.
Some releasing. So we think, hey, that's how you do it, right? But even more so, nobody is teaching young men that the worst thing that they can do is release semen. They're not telling them that at all. And guess what these young men are doing at a high level? Whether they're watching pornography on their phones or their laptops, or whether they're with their little girlfriend or some little floozy from around the block, they are releasing their semen, and then you looking at them, they more effeminate, they skinnier, they bone density ain't the same no more.
Nope.
Because this whole internet
niggas used to be athletic, they not athletic no more.
They on the video games and the phone, so that's it. It's one of the most important and vital things that's happening within life and in our community as a whole is that men have no sexual education about their semen, and their semen is the most important thing. It's what makes you a man, right?
Your balls in your word.
Your balls in your word. And your balls grow in testicular size based upon the type of person that you is. Think about that. So when they say, my balls in my word, that's scientific, right? Probably one of the most scientific movies you ever gonna watch is Scarface.
That shit biological. That shit is biological, big bro.
Off the muscle. And think about it. Why you think that stuff free? It's really not free. It's taking your energy, big bro.
Right. You paying for it. No. Don't do it.
Yeah, that shit ain't about nothing, bro. Because right after you nut, you ain't even gonna like her no more. We're not gonna get into post-nut clarity. We're not gonna get into that. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, different episode. That's a 3-hour segment for you.
Let's see.
Black women's sexualization in media.
especially since a lot of us have been having conversations about how to protect black women, especially with the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing going on. I actually stumbled into a very interesting argument a couple months ago. Ironically, it was in Jay Stoop's comments. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's great. I go there for all my Marvel analysis. This one white guy in the comments really didn't understand how she could say that black women are hypersexualized, often in a demeaning way, but they still aren't the beauty standard, because he thinks that being hypersexualized is the same as being the beauty standard. And I was like, all right, we don't have to do a college level lecture on this, but it's a pretty simple concept. Being treated like a sex object, not the same as being seen as beautiful and desirable and worthwhile holistically. The conversation evolved a bit as his racist views started to peep out a little bit, but here's where it gets really interesting, and this is what I want to talk about. I basically said the reason that black women are hypersexualized in so many forms of media, whether it's music, television, movies, whatever, it's because white audiences are cool with that and they respond to those kinds of depictions of black women, right? He started talking about Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. And I was like, that doesn't change anything I'm saying, because most people who consume hip hop are white, at least in the US, and that is true. And he did not like this, because he had this notion, and many other people also have this notion, that what they don't like about hip hop culture and aspects they see of black culture shown on the TV screens is all just because us black people are degenerates, and that's what we value in our culture. Now, if you've done a lick of research or just thought about it critically, hip hop, which is now the most popular singular genre of music in the US, is predominantly consumed by white people. That doesn't mean that black people don't listen to it a lot, but there's so many more white people in this country than any other kind of person. And so, for something to become very popular broadly, it has to be consumed a lot by white folks. In the music industry, its depictions of blackness are depictions that work for white folks, depictions that they're comfortable with, depictions that they feel are valid. This rant and the rant of other people who have low-key racist views like he does, that anything distasteful in media created by black artists that's super popular is because black people consume it and we decide what... That's not how consumption of things like this works. The creators of a lot of this media are black, but the executives, advisors, marketers, the people who select these artists and decide who becomes popular are not black. And that doesn't mean they're all sinisterly evil, but it means their perception of what feels real or gritty or authentic for a black artist is affected by their perception. And this goes for the hypersexualization of a lot of these black artists that we see. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. Anyway, I think this is a really interesting conversation. If y'all want to talk about it more, I could do a whole little series on this, because I think it's really relevant, especially in hip-hop. And y'all know that I'm interested in hip-hop as a hip-hop artist, but also in analyzing it as a critical thinker. Yeah, this, just like other trends in hip-hop.
Hey man, he laid it out. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
So, where do y'all ever understand the difference between a girl that you want to have sex with versus a girl you wanted to marry? And what is your thought process in that mentality? If that is your thought process, or ever have been your thought process, where you I'm trying to find a girl to fuck tonight versus I'm looking for a potential wife.
Mm-hmm. I think I definitely had those thoughts before. And it just comes down to me asking myself, what outside of sex do I desire, in a partner? Because sex alone is it's not sustaining, you know what I mean? Especially when you're just trying to fuck, Yeah, I mean, that's all I can really say about it. It's just it's a level of maturity to be understood. Yeah, it's just a level of maturity. Cause some of the most geekiest, nerdiest girls are probably the best. Some of the corniest girls, you know what I mean, that can't dress is probably the girls that could be your wife, you know what I mean? And the girls that's out here acting like Sexy Red. Nothing against Sexy Red. I don't know her, but you know, girls that's emulating that, they ain't trying to be your wife. They want you to be a daddy, so they baby daddy, so they can say fuck you. You know what I mean? That's the type of time we're on. And for the most part, them nerdy, corny girls probably look way better up under them clothes. That can't dress, they probably look way better. And they probably ain't been ran through. You know. Yeah, that's my take on it. You know, that's my take on it. It just come down to maturity, because most of the women that you watch on pornography, you wouldn't marry them. You would not marry them. You know what I mean? But you may see, for this example, you may see like a movie actress, you know, that you think is just like, oh man, she just seemed like the greatest person, like Love and Basketball or some shit like that. You don't look at a porn star in the way you look at Sanaa Lathan on Love and Basketball. You know, it's just not. It's not happening.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Well, I had my thought on it. I had even dropped something down below if you want to bring it up, but I seen it from a biblical perspective, because like when you go into certain chapters in the Bible, you get like certain passages that gives you wisdom. So Proverbs is a good one to find wisdom. So this passage is speaking is just about, you know, she is loud in a way where her feet do not stay at home, now in the street, now in the market, and every corner she lies in wait. This is Proverbs 7:11. So it's just like, just to show you, even in a biblical perspective, it's like, you know where you're not going to find a wife at. You know what you're looking for, what you're looking for.
Yeah. If I could speak to the truth that has existed within my lifetime, I would say that I never had dreams about the flashy girl. It was always the unassuming girl. It was always the girl that was real obscure, that was real like hidden, that was behind the scenes, that wasn't outwardly flashy. It was never the girl that everybody wanted. You know, like men are visual creatures, right? Like, so when you think back to the thing that you really wanted or the thing that really turned you on, for me, it was never the girl who was so openly out there and made everybody aware of her. It was always the girl who was semi-quiet and behind the scenes and just, you know, comfortable in her own skin. It was always that girl. It was never the other girl. Like I never cared for the outwardly twerking girl. Not saying that there was anything wrong with her, but I never cared for that girl. That wasn't the thing that moved the needle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't even think like girls that even be acting that way, I don't think they even be thinking about like attracting a man per se, right? Or if they are, they completely out of touch with what a man really want. Like no man say, I want a girl that's like gonna be twerking all over the restaurant, but they'll do it anyways. So like, it's not.
I won't want that twerk at home.
the privacy of our own homes, right? But the point of it though is like, in this life, what I'm like slowly to figure out when it comes to like the choices that I make and the type of girl, I don't have no control over that, right? So even in, like we stated earlier, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and that even applies to my relationships as well. And I wish I had known that, like being younger. Like I don't gotta pick and choose on my preferences or standards. That's God's decision. Because when God is in your love life, that's when it matters. When I'm like, oh, she meets my preferences or she don't meet my standards, it still end up fucked up. And what if I'm like, oh, she was the perfect girl? Like, if she was perfect, why I kept her sucking dick? You know what I'm saying? At the truck stop. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't a perfect girl. I just thought she was the perfect girl. So it's like,
yeah,
wisdom is a powerful thing, especially in your relationships.
I think I learned that lesson the hard way. What you just described, right? Like, I think I thought that there was a particular way that she was supposed to act, and if she didn't, then I went into debauchery mode, or I went into that real nasty mode. But I thought that was a thing that I was supposed to control, and I think that was my problem ultimately.
Hey, this is some game right here. What is that? At 2 hours, some game. That is some wisdom right there from both of y'all.
I mean, it's a spiritual warfare out here, man, and people might not realize it, but you in war every day. So I'm always ask the chat, are y'all protecting y'all planet? Are you drinking your herbs?
Yeah.
You got herbs on your altar because you burn the candle on your altar. Is you saying your serenity prayers? Is you getting 8 hours of sleep?
You know what was funny with what Serpent and Hood said is sometimes I get so aggravated with my lady, and it'll be funny. I'll take some mushrooms and I'll be like, damn man, why you so hard on her? Like she really ain't even like you know what I mean? But like we got certain things and it gotta be this way. It gotta be this way, you know, and I know for a fact we met each other for a reason. Even when I look at our charts, you know, the synastry charts, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's not always what you want. This is what your ancestors
And I
want,
think,
or at least what God wants.
I think what you're saying is really crucial and important, and I think it's important for any man who is listening to what we are talking about right now, who is in a relationship or trying to get into a relationship, that they understand that just because you have your set ways based on your logic and your reasoning doesn't mean that your partner is supposed to fall completely in line with that until they understand and learn you, right? Like that thing is not just going to manifest itself just because you want it to manifest itself when you want it to manifest. Like that's just not how it works.
Yeah.
You know, there are two different beings that are involved in that situation. So you have to incorporate that other human being, and you have to be willing to be patient and understanding and wait sometimes. Like things are not going to be cookie cutter. Like you're never going to meet the perfect partner right off the bat. Like sometimes you have to build to that thing. Most times you have to build to that thing.
Yeah, man. I agree. It's just, like life is very easy when you are able to develop a system of just trusting and knowing, and then trusting, knowing, and being patient. But that's going to be counterintuitive to the ego. So Like y'all said earlier, it's easier said than done, but we have to work to remain. When y'all was talking, the concept in my mind came up, daily sincerity, where you have to, because you might not be able to afford a candle, you might not have no place for an altar. There's been times where I couldn't even take a shower for real because I had to go to the Y to take a shower, so I couldn't take no spiritual bath. If you ain't got shit, just be sincere and be sincere every single day. Whereas you really know that your ancestors is there. And I say there's a lot of spiritual information out here. And you will have to think either all of this spiritual information is bullshit or I'm just not actually applying it in my real life. Because if you can understand and overstand the countless amount of spiritual knowledge and then understand that this spiritual knowledge is already within your Akashic records, all you have to do is cross and connect and weave the physical to the spiritual and have true understanding. And of course, I'm just saying it over the internet, and that's what it's going to be until you actually do the work. And there is no replacement for you doing your work every single day, being sincere. I'll be forgetting. I'll be, Well, what if your breathing was like that? What if your subconscious mind said, "Oh man, I forgot to breathe for your ass." Now you dead. You no longer existing. That's physical life. If you're not doing the daily spiritual hygiene, then your spiritual life is dead. And maybe you can't talk to your ancestors. You can't have no psychic visions because you're not doing it every single day, getting better, watching your life improve. And then once you get into your apartment, you get an altar. Once you get some money in your pocket, you buy some candles. That's what the fuck I did. And I had not even 2 nickels to rub together. I was, "Hey auntie, can I borrow a pen and a pad? I just need to start journaling." That's how I fucking started. You feel me? And that's real. And it's different for me now, but I can go right back to that pen and the pad today because I know about being sincere when it comes to this spiritual shit. And if you do have that, you can have anything you want out of this world. But if y'all got anything to say, anything else y'all want to bring up, feel free or just hit us off with your closing words.
Shout out to the initiates. Ashe to the family. Ashe to the people in the chat, the watchers, subscribers, people who came through. Much love to y'all. Check out the Hereford's Book Club tomorrow. Come join into more of this deep occult metaphysics with us. Have a blessed night. Ashe.
Ashe, yeah. Thank you all for rocking with us this Friday evening. Yeah, it was fun. Check out the Hero Fans Book Club tomorrow. And get you some mushrooms. Get you some mushrooms. Take them with some fruit or like a smoothie. Wait 2 hours before you eat food, and just get your journal. Get a good book and really just sit with yourself, experience your energy, become more comfortable with your own energy. And that's all I want to say. Oh, and I like Blue Magnolia.
Type shit.
Golden teachers.
I don't think I have had golden teachers yet.
I know that between the 4 of us, there is a powerful reservoir of unmatched light and a flame. The compassion and intent that exists within the purpose of what we are trying to do, and that tone that in which we choose to relay that information ultimately will determine the ability that people have to recognize and receive it. Your being matters when you are receiving information and how you are truly able to comprehend said information. Meaning we are speaking to the minds and the hearts. This is not a distraction. This is just a distinction that is understood and focused upon us and upon us as full. I just want the people to know that I give our shade to their ancestors, known and unknown. Thank you for the space. I am very, very appreciative of that space. And it's okay if you don't have the answers, right? It's okay if you don't know what the next step is, but it's not okay if you don't speak up and ask somebody and seek out that necessary help. Once again, this is the Initiates. I appreciate you joining us. Please check out White Rabbit Psychedelic.com. Please check out ColumbianExchange.com. Please check out the Substack from White Rabbit Psych and from the Initiates. Please join the Discord. Come in. We want you to be a part of this family. We want you to be a part of the flame, and we will continue to nourish this flame. Ashe.
Ashe. We'll for sure catch y'all next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. Thank y'all for listening, being good sports. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace to y'all, and we'll be back with more spiritual decodes. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace.